Hello, this is the Timeless Tarot, and today's reading will be looking at the feminine energies for the month ahead. Now, it took me a long time to shuffle, so these cards were very well prepared, and I have laid out a spread. Okay, at the bottom of the deck, we have strength. Could be that you're struggling with something, or there's a struggle going on in your mind, I think. Perhaps to do with, there's a struggle going on in your mind, something to do with resisting or resistance. You're trying to resist something or someone, or you're not able to resist someone or something. At the bottom of the deck now, if I take the next one, we have Temperance. So you're being guided. I'm very drawn to the infinity sign above her head here. You're being guided, I think, to let something go, or you're being guided to resist something. I'm not quite sure what it relates to yet. No doubt we will soon find out. Taking another one from the bottom of the deck just to get a bit more clarity. It feels to me like you are struggling to get the life that you want, and there is some element of resistance here. You're being guided towards the life you want, but you're struggling to get there. It's like there is something blocking your path. There is some sort of resistance that you are struggling with in order to get the life you want. Even though you're being guided heavily towards the life that you want, you're struggling to get there. That's what it feels like to me. Okay. So at the centre of, let's go with that for now. I feel like there might be more, there's going to be more to add to that, but let's just leave that for now. The centre of the spread, we have the Page of Cups. This is a love letter or an apology, either that you have made or you are waiting for. Now what is crossing that, what is preventing that from coming in, is the Nine of Wands, the Wounded Warrior. You're not really strong enough, is what it feels like to me. You're not strong enough to deal with a love connection. Gosh, that feels really heavy now. I've said that. I feel a bit like crying. This is a very heavy energy, but in any case, but if you combine it with strength, which is a struggle, and the Seven of Wands, which is resistance, this feels very, very heavy to me. You know, strength is a funny card because you might think on the face of it that it shows determination and strength of character, but what it really talks about is battling with yourself, really, over a situation. And in this case, it feels like it's really taking a toll on you. It feels like it's really, really hard work. You've been struggling so hard, you're actually starting to make yourself feel, well, unwell, I think. And it's more than being unhappy. It's more like feeling like you just don't know which way to turn anymore. And that's, yeah. Something is so hard you don't know how to deal with it. And yet you can't seem to let it go. It will not go. You're resisting letting this difficult thing go. Why won't you let it go? Well, I feel a bit like it won't let you go. And that's because we had the angel here of Temperance. It's not letting you go because you're being guided towards it. This is a tricky situation. You're being guided towards something that you are finding extremely difficult to deal with. And so something here needs to change and to assist you in moving forward, because you can't stay in this Nine of Wands energy indefinitely. Well, good news. I'm just jumping ahead here. You are getting to the Ten of Wands in the hopes and fears position. So you are hoping to get to the end of this, and you will. We'll talk more about that as we go further on. But currently, there is a love situation or a situation that needs to be resolved that you are really struggling with. Now, I'm saying a love situation because we have the Page of Cups. It could be that you've got a difficult situation to deal with regarding a Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio child. But to me, for most of you, it doesn't feel like that. It feels like it's a love situation. Something that, well, I want to say something that grew, but then I can't help feeling like it didn't grow. It stayed small, and maybe that's the problem. There's a love situation that didn't develop, and you're struggling to move away from it, I feel like. Really struggling. Well, that's a bit of a heavy start, isn't it? Well, let's continue. On the face of things, well, good news, we have the Chariot. This is the card of getting ready to move forward. It's also guided. Now, in a way, you sort of need to go with it, is what it feels like. And that here, of course, is where the Resistance card comes in. If you have been resisting leaving something behind because you're being guided to move it forward, then of course you're going to end up in this really frazzled state that you're in currently. So that makes perfect sense to me. The Chariot is the card of nearly moving. It's almost ready to go, but it's not quite ready to go yet. Let's get a clarifier. Why isn't the Chariot moving? Well, that flew out. Three of Swords. This is very definitely a love situation. Either you can't go with the guidance you're receiving to leave a love situation behind because you're heartbroken, or you're being guided to, well, are you being guided away from the heartbreaking situation or towards the heartbreaking situation? You can't let the situation go because you're not able to get the life you want the way things are currently. Now, this is a bit confusing. I think we're going to need another clarifier. Well, we've got three more cards here. We've got another angel, the Lovers, just in case we weren't sure this was a love reading. It definitely is. It's a love situation that has been going on for 2 years, near enough, and that you are still trying to work out what to do about it. Yes, that feels pretty clear to me. The thing is with the Lovers, it is a choice, but it's also guidance. And of course, the Two of, I'll just put the Hangman down for a minute. The Two of Pentacles is choice as well. You are being guided to choose the life that you want. Now, you're being very heavily guided to make a choice to get the life that you want. Something is not quite fitting together. Yeah, this is quite complicated. What is not fitting together? Why can you not get the life you want? Well, it's something to do with a love connection. So maybe the life that you've got is fine, but you don't have the love that you want and you don't know how to get that love in your life. That could be talking in a general way. Maybe you don't get beyond the first date stage, for example. Or it could be talking in a more specific way, that you can't have the life you want because you can't get the love that you want in your life. And that could be talking about a specific person. And so we've got quite a lot of choosing to do here. How do you get to the life you want when you've been in a love situation that has made you brokenhearted, that you might have been in for 2 years, that you still don't know how to move on from? Well, it's very hard. I mean, these two energies here are very opposite. So the Three of Swords is very opposite to the Hanged Man. The Hanged Man is looking at things from every direction in order to find the solution. The Three of Swords is just, well, it's gloomy. You've given up. So these two are opposing energies, which I'm not quite clear on why we've got both here. Because the Chariot would suggest that there is a way forward. The Hanged Man would suggest that you're looking for a way forward. And the Three of Swords would suggest that you still haven't found a way to move things forward. It feels very much like, well, even in a way, not stuck. I was going to say stuck, but not actually even stuck. Just almost a bit bewildered, I feel like. That what to do is really, really not very clear. And yet, things are going to start moving. The other thing I've noticed here, the Two of Pentacles and the Strength card both have the infinity sign. So this has been going on and on and on, round and round in your brain for quite a long time, possibly 2 years. It could also be that you're dealing with a Leo, a Cancer, a Sagittarius, or a Gemini. Now, I mean, take that as it fits. And if you're not dealing with any of those signs, don't worry about it, because the signs don't always come out. Perpetual loop of not making progress. There doesn't seem to be any progress. And I think that's partly because you're so exhausted by it. Actually, let's go back to the centre and get a clarifier for the Page of Cups. It's at the centre. Well, that's no help at all. That's just adding to the confusion. The moon is a veiled energy. It's confusing. It's not clear, but it is gaining clarity. It's a bit like the Hanged Man. Things aren't obvious yet, but they soon will be. I feel like some of you have been praying for clarity over this situation, really praying for it. Actually, and the other thing I should say is that when I was shuffling, the Nine of Swords came out. I almost took it for the centre. So I think a lot of you are really finding this situation stressful. Okay. Right, well, so that's all the stuff that's obvious. What's not clear is, well, there's a love partnership that is currently in separation, which is adding huge amounts of confusion. And I want to say upset as well here. The Two of Cups is the card of true connection. This is a love partnership. This is the sort of pairing that goes on to marry and have a happy life together. So you have that in the underneath. And I think why the Seven of Cups is here is saying that, you know, maybe you weren't expecting that sort of connection. Maybe it wasn't clear at first that that's what it was, but I think it's become clear as you have become more and more separate from it. The Virgo is a very separate energy. Sorry, the Hermit is a Virgo card, but it's also a very separate energy, but also trying to gain enlightenment. You've separated yourself from a loving connection that came about as a bit of a surprise in order to try and work out what you want, I think. And I don't think it's even what you feel. I think I know how you feel. I think you know how you feel. This connection was so good that you are heartbroken, but you are not in it anymore. What a shame. The Hermit card, you know, and the Hanged Man, they're both searching for the answer. So in an obvious way, you're trying to work it out. And then in an unobvious way, you're also trying to work it out. That probably actually in dreams, I should think. You're probably dreaming about it as well as consciously trying to work it out. In the past position, we have disaster. We have the Tower card. Well, and I think this goes hand in hand with the Three of Swords and the Hermit. You're heartbroken. The disaster in the past was to do with the non-connection, was to do with leaving the strong connection behind. And it's hit either one or both of you very, very hard, I think. Because in a way, I feel like this has happened to you and your person. I don't think it's just happened to you. This is the feminine energy for the month ahead, and I will do the masculine one following on from this, but it actually feels like your world sort of blew up in the past. I think everything you knew in your life was probably fine until you made this connection, and then you lost this connection, and now everything just feels awful, difficult. Like you don't know how to live your life anymore, I feel. Yeah, you were happy when things were balanced, and that's the whole thing. The whole situation became completely unbalanced, and so you were left with nothing good. There was no give and take. There was no joy, and you've ended up just with heartbreak. Isn't that sad? Really sorry about that. In the future position, we have the Four of Swords. Well, you are recovering, which is great. And it's always good to have progression through the numbers on the cards in a reading. So you're going from the Three of Swords currently into the Four of Swords in the future, which is recovering from heartbreak. Could also be recovering from surgery, I want to say. Or just recovery, I mean, maybe mental recovery from something. It's great, though. The recovery is going to bring a huge new change for you. A much better life, actually. Because this could be a new home or a large sum of money. So whilst you're recovering, it's not that you're not doing anything. But this situation is going to improve a lot. So this is temporary. This is the future. And I don't feel like it's that far in the future either. Actually, let's take another one. Why? Actually, one's left behind here. Let's have that one. Oh, look at that. Just as I'm saying, I don't think it's far in the future. I get the Ace of Swords. If ever I take that as I'm speaking, that is the truth. So you've got something a lot better in the future. You're recovering fairly quickly or fairly soon to a much better life. You may have a new home. You may have a large sum of money. You will have a lot of clarity will come in and aid you on this situation because the aces are divinely presented, which means that you are being gifted the Ace of Clarity and Truth and Victory, and you're being gifted the Ace of Material Success, financial gain, windfalls, new homes, engagements. So you're being gifted these great things in the future, and I'm not surprised to find those gifts there because you're being guided towards this much better future. You've got a lot of guidance. The Chariot is guided as well. So you're being heavily guided into the future that you want, that you have been struggling so hard recently to get to. Wonderful. Well, that couldn't be better as far as I'm concerned. In the personal position, we have the Ten of Cups. This is everything is rosy in the garden. You might be getting some sort of success or recognition is what it feels like. I don't know about an award or something like that. I might take a clarifier for that. Some sort of personal success is coming your way. You will find out about it fairly soon. The Page of Wands is good news. And I was very drawn to, I don't think you'll be able to see, but there is what looks to be a sword suspended from the rainbow there. And I'm very drawn to this Ace of Swords, which is the card of victory and success. So I feel like you've got a lot of personal success coming your way. It's something to do with an endeavour of yours. Maybe you've started something creative, or you're making something. Creating. It's something you're going to have great success with, something you're creating, because the wands are a creative energy. In the home position, we have the Knight of Wands. This is a masculine who's around for a good time, not a long time generally. But in the home position, it's just that you want a new start, I think. You want to get to this good bit. You're ready to get to a new start. And for whatever reason, you're not there yet. It sort of feels a bit like you can see in the distance where you're headed, but you can't seem to get there. And the wands are a fast-moving energy. And even on this fast horse, you still can't seem to get there. It's like every time you get close, it moves out of reach. It's that sort of feeling, and that's in the home position. You can't seem to get to the home life or the home situation that you want to. It's a frustrating energy there. Let's get a clarifier. It's something to do with you've had to leave something. And I think it's this love energy or love relationship. Actually, you could have left home in a way, or a job even. Because you've left something in the past, you're finding it very difficult to move into your future. That's what it feels like. Yeah, I've looked at the bottom of the deck and I'm taking two more. So we've got, wow, another angel and the Queen of Swords. You cut yourself off from something and you're finding it difficult to move into the life that you want. but you're being guided. There's only 3 angels in the deck and we've got all 3 of them now. They are desperate for you to get to where you need to go. They are very, very heavily trying to guide you into the right direction. Very, very heavily. Now, temperance is all about balance. So this angel is the one that we got at the start that was trying to balance out your feelings of frustration and stress and resistance. The Lovers is a choice, and this is the one we had crowning the position, where this angel is willing you to make the right choice to move things forward. And Judgment, this angel is shouting at you very, very loudly to follow the guidance. Judgment is a card of resurrection, reawakening, reestablishing, reasserting, researching, reassessing, arising actually. It's a card of rising up, and it's a card of a little bit like when you're girding your loins type of thing. You're gearing yourself up to just get there. Really, really screwing up your courage and determination to just keep on plodding on until you reach your destination. That's what it feels like. And it feels hard. We know it's hard, but you're being guided to keep going here. Keep going forward, even though you've had to cut yourself off from something in the past. You don't want to swim in that past energy. You really want to be moving into the future energy, which is where we were here before with the Chariot almost ready to go. They're both guided, these cards. The Chariot's guided. He's got stars and the moon on his canopy. He's ready to go. You're ready to go. You've got to sort of detach yourself from whatever it was you left behind in the past and that negative energy, and really, really harness the power to move yourself forward. You can do it. We know you can do it because you've got these cards in the future position. In the hopes and fears position, and what I said earlier on, this is great news. You're moving beyond feeling ground down to the point where you can actually put the burden down because you have done the work and it is ended. That is in your hopes and fears position. Well, that is a hope. You're hoping things will end, that this difficult period will end, and it will. Do we need another clarifier for the 10 of Wands? Yeah, here we are. We've got the 9 of Swords, which is what came out when I was shuffling. Things need to end because this is too much for you. You can't take any more. These are both cards of endings, and you're waiting to get to the good bit. Yeah. I think in a way, it's the waiting that is creating the stress. Because if you were able to move things forward yourself, you wouldn't feel so worn out and stressed about this situation. It feels like you're reliant on somebody else. And maybe that's the whole point, that somebody else has got to make the decision to move this forward, that actually you can't do it. And that's why you're going round in circles. That's why the perpetual loop. You're waiting for somebody else to make the decision. And I think that is where we started at. You're waiting to hear from somebody as to how to move things forward. I think so. Well, what's great news is that at the outcome we have, wow, I mean, amazing, the 2 best cards that you could get together for a positive outcome. As far as I'm concerned, the Wheel of Fortune and the Sun. The Sun is the best card on the deck. The Wheel of Fortune is bringing you a new positive, fortunate energy. And of course, we know that there is a new fortunate, positive energy coming because we have the Ace of Truth and victory, and we have the Ace of Pentacles of financial gain. We know it's coming. It's moving now. So this month, I think you'll start feeling happier, and maybe you'll start seeing some sort of change, I think. Something will start to change this month. You'll feel it. I think you'll feel it before you see it. That's my impression. If things have been difficult, I think things are going to start feeling easier. If things have been gloomy, I think they're going to start looking better. Let's take a clarifier and see how are we getting the Sun and the Wheel of Fortune? What is going to bring that about? Here we are. You're waiting on a masculine, and he's stepped up into his best energy. The King of Pentacles is the king of money, but he's also a determined, capable, financially stable king. So if you were waiting for a message from somebody younger and you haven't heard from them, you can't seem to move things on, they've stepped up. They're stepping up. They've gone from page to knight to king, I believe anyway. They've got into their best energy, especially if they're a Taurus, Virgo or Capricorn. So if you've been in a broken-hearted love situation with a Taurus, Virgo or a Capricorn, then I think they are coming in to move this situation forward this month. Oh! Bottom of the deck. I was just going to say, I think I'll end it there. Bottom of the deck, we've got the Star. That is all your wishes coming true. Wow. What a way to end. Well, I hope you enjoyed that reading. Please like and subscribe so that I can read your energy more easily, which will help me to do more accurate readings for you and your situation in the future. And if you would like a personal reading, my information is in the description box below. But until the next time, this has been the Timeless Tarot. Goodbye.